All right, so I originally recorded the other night for well over an hour. I did an hour and 7 minutes and then an 11 minutes, and it was insane. I have another video coming with part of it because the beginning part of it was like messages for everybody, but the middle part of it, because of those messages, I feel like something weird happened. And so I did get some of Rick's messages done for him, and I already posted those into the Patreon so that he could get those. For everybody that's part of our membership, I'm gonna have readings here for those of you that I have written down. Like I already sat and tried, like seriously was there for so long trying to do this already, but whatever. So Rick is done. We're gonna be doing Paloma, Chris, Monica, Jenny, Melissa. And for the divine souls, you are where you're meant to be, okay? Because this is a recurring question that many of you guys had. Was like like Rick had asked in the past, because like I had missed something for him before, and then he had two questions, and before it was like, what am I missing? Because he had been like MIA, he was like wicked busy doing this and doing that, and just felt like he was missing out on stuff, but he really wasn't. And then like there's another question tonight about like, what am I missing? What do I need to do? What do I need to heal? What actions do I need to take? What direction do I need to go in? And that's something I've seen within many, even like people who are coming to me in private readings, people who are talking to me in their personal lives, like things that are going on. They're like, why is this happening to me? And so no matter where you are, that's where you're meant to be. You're beautiful, you're wise, and you're always on time. Even if it doesn't feel good, even if it feels bad, if it feels like, oh my God, this is the worst thing, or I really wish that this played out differently, or why does this hurt so bad? There's always a reason for those types of experiences. It may not be the best experience for you in your mind, like, wow, this kind of sucks, but it will help you to heal, help you to grow, and help you to gain more wisdom. So just know that you will become more wise, you will become more sacred, you'll find justice along the way. You need to prepare for the best and get used to things being good as they are. Let go of the old, and stop judging things so much. Like, we live in a world where we want like instant gratification. We think that things need to be a certain way in order for them to be good or kosher, or for us to be like pleased. But if you live in that way, you will never be pleased. If you can be pleased in the moment with what you already have or what's already happening, and like accept it and be like, this is great, or I'm grateful for whatever is present here. Maybe not all of it feels great, maybe like some of it is really difficult, but I'm grateful that I have what I have, and that I can do what I can do, and that things are always changing. And just know that things are going to continue to get better if you focus on that happening, like in this moment. Like, I'm good, I can breathe, I can eat, I can sleep, like whatever it is. Like, if you're watching this, you have a way to watch this, you have resources of some sort, or you most likely would not even be seeing this. So start at the most bare minimum that you have to, and work up. But if you focus on what you don't have, and that everything does suck, and that you don't feel happy, and that everything is bad, it will stay that way or amplify and to get, increasingly worse. And I know, man, it's fucking hard. Like, being in physical pain makes it very hard. Like, it amplifies all those little moments of inconvenience tenfold. Things that normally don't bother you become like blah, and it's like not knowing either. Like, am I going to be okay right now or not okay right now? And it sucks because I feel bad and guilty, and then I'm like, I want to be able to do what I'm supposed to be doing in my mind, or like getting things done in a certain way at a certain time. And like, I got people in Patreon that are like, they're there for like $5 a month, but like, if I'm like, I feel like I haven't given them enough, which is like multiple readings a day, I mean multiple readings a week, or say I miss like a couple of days, I'll do like a big long one. And like it's like 3 hours, which is much more than if I had just done like three 20-minute readings, right? That's like an hour, but no, I'll do like a 3 hour one to like make up for this. And I find that the more that I focus on the fact that I can't get things done when I want to get them done, I've been manifesting more issues. Like the editor fucking being weird and deciding to be like, oh, that thing that you paid lifetime on, it went back to being fucking the version that's not paid. And when I reach out to them, they're like, "Oh, this is what you got to do." And then I go through the whole fucking process of taking all these drafts that were in there that were half saved and half done to get them out and saved so that I could clear the cache and the fucking stuff that's in there, because I knew if I cleared all that shit out of the settings of the app itself, all that stuff would just disappear. And I didn't want it to just disappear because I'd already been working on it. But another problem is that when you're already working on something in there and at one point you had the paid elements, you can't just go save it, because now anything that you use that was a paid element needs to be changed to the free element. And it was just like one more thing after another. And just like those are just little bits and pieces. Like there's been insane stuff going on, like this happened and then that happened and then the car was gone and then the dog was this and the other dog that, and it's because of feeling like, it piling it on, and it happens quickly. So I'm just as much needing to hear these things of like, don't let that happen to yourself. I know some people are depressed, some people are sad, some people are anxious, some people are confused, some people are frustrated. Some people are like wanting things to get to the next level, and it will get there. So blessings and winnings and celebrations, new experiences, new connections and new options. There's going to be new eyes and new supplies, and you will be a magnet for perfect and lucky and feeling on point. You are going to be winning. People will be triggered and they will likely want to upset you or knock you down. You may already be experiencing things like this at different points. Sometimes when you're okay, you feel good, or someone isn't, right? Like you could just be existing, neither here nor there, up or down. Like sometimes we're just existing. We just are saying whatever we're saying, engaging in however we're engaging. We're not necessarily like, wow, this is the best thing ever, or I'm so sad or mad or whatever. But if someone else isn't okay, or they perceive you in a way of like, you got what you got and you boo 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 boo, or just perceive you as better than, or more attractive than, or has more than, or smarter than, or whatever the fuck it is, because a lot of times people think these things and it's not even necessarily true, or you wouldn't feel that way yourself. Like what are you comparing? There's like, like what's wrong? But in those cases, when you do start winning and you do start celebrating, it may trigger even more of that. More people might be like, nah. So if this happens, some people might want to derail you, or they might project onto you. They might demonize things about you, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally. They might put words in your mouth. They might misunderstand you. They might judge things about your behavior, your ideas, your perspective, and all the while, you're going to be able to see that like they're not correct about the opinions that they're forming, or that there's something off within what they're saying. But this is, it's crazy, right? Because I wrote this like days ago for you guys, and I just saw a thing from a girl that like, I like her readings. She pops on every once in a while. She reads like she'll connect with different deities, but she literally was saying this. She was like, there's someone that like, you got to be mindful because they're projecting, and if you let them do that, it's going to cause you doubt and keep you in a place of like limbo, or not taking action. Like there's something that you're doing or you're wanting to do, or things that are coming into you. You're very like aware. You see things in your world, and you get messages and stuff. And sometimes when you try to deliver those things to others, or you express something to people, if they're not on that same wavelength, or if they don't understand what you're saying, they might demonize it, or they might come after you and be like, ah, and they might be projecting their own shit onto you. But if they do it in such a way that it can cause you doubt, then it might cause you delay. And we don't want to delay if we're ready to celebrate and win and create and manifest. So make sure that if you feel a little bit off in something, don't internalize or let other people's inability to understand what you're saying, or their own inability to perceive the fullness of what you're trying to portray. Because sometimes that's hard too in this world. It's like we have this like world of like texts and like quick little like memos and like little pictures, you know what I mean? Like a story. Everything's like gotta be 30 fucking seconds or less. Everybody's in such a fucking rush for the thing that they want, and then they're on their way. And because of that, a lot of things gets unheard or misunderstood, and it can cause issues. Or people, you might find yourself repeating things. Like that was one of those things when I was getting the messages from God for Leviticus and Ezekiel. Ezekiel's thing, I had been complaining earlier that week about, like, I'm sick of this, I'm sick of people, like, I say this and it's like in one ear and out the other. And his thing, that what I found, that one that I clicked on, was literally like, people hear you, they're just choosing not to like take the action on it, but they do hear it. So he wanted him to like take, God was talking to Ezekiel in the way of like, just know that like they're gonna know, they're gonna know, you know, like they may not do anything about it, but they will know that they were being told. So just know, whatever you receive for you is for you, and it's just for you. Maybe others aren't meant to hear it, but don't let them keep you from it. So, doody boop boop. Let's see. All the while, you will see that they are being incorrect about the opinions and energy that they are claiming you hold, okay? And so this may aggravate you, it could frustrate you, or it could simply confuse you as to why they're not understanding, or why they're twisting your words, or why they're thinking something bad or negative or different from what you're trying to say, or that you're broken, or maybe like you're reading too much into something, or you're thinking too positively, or you're not understanding, you're misunderstood, like, you know, because we all get signs and synchronicities, and we get this and we get that, and you're gonna know yours better than anybody else. That's one of those things that I always say is like, when we see our signature like around us, and we're like, oh my god, he's 27, unless other people have that 27, they're not gonna care. But like, or they might care, but they're not going to get the gravity of how many times that's happened and what that exactly means to you. And say you're on a kick that week where it's like dolphin, 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 and you start seeing dolphins again. Oh my god, it's a dolphin. For you, it's exciting, but for others, they may not understand it. So when you're like, well, I saw a dolphin, it could be a little like, what are you talking about? Like, I wouldn't go like change my whole career based off a dolphin. But if you specifically told Spirit, I need to see 13 dolphins by the 13th, and you see that 13th dolphin, they may not understand that. And there's still going to be people out there that won't, regardless. But you will know. And so whether they are warping it in a way of like poo-pooing it, warping in a way of like misunderstanding you, or thinking that you're complaining when you're not, or thinking that you're like perceiving things incorrectly when they don't even really know the full perception, don't let that come in so much, okay? When you aren't meaning to do anything wrong, or you're not like, when you know you're not meaning what others are perceiving, just let it go. Try not to let it upset you. I mean, if you want to be upset, you could be upset, but don't hold on to it too long, because it can be frustrating. It can be aggravating or angry when people assume they know what you're feeling, when, or telling you what it is that you're doing when you know that's not. So yeah, when you aren't meaning to do, feeling like every action, every word, every idea you have is being manipulated or put down, or you're told is bad or wrong or silly or inauthentic, a coincidence, or less meaningful, less good, less of anything that you might have said. So you may want to correct this, or you may feel anger, or you may just even feel a desire to disconnect altogether from that situation, or engaging with particular people, or that particular person, or people all in general. You'll know what to do with that's best for you. Don't engage with the things that are making you feel those types of ways. You know, trust and know that you will start to attract in whoever's meant to be there to understand. Like when I put my messages out to the collective, there's always times that like I feel like nobody's gonna understand this, everybody's gonna think I'm crazy. And like every time I come to do a live, all the fucking people are like dealing with, like, people don't know each other from far across the world, like haven't spoken to each other, like maybe probably ever, unless they're in the live together. But it's like all of them will be having the same experiences. Or when I do put out something, it's like the right people always gravitate towards it, you know? So just know that you will gravitate towards the right people, and it may be an indicator to you that if those types of things are happening, like if there's misunderstandings falling out, or just like a confusion within you and others, it could indicate that you're shifting, you're changing, things are going to be headed in a new path. I know, like, there's another person that was getting a reading today, and they just dealt with something that was kind of upsetting for them, but it was kind of also a repeat of other things, and I think it was necessary for them to go through that, because if they didn't go through that, you know, like, they wouldn't have the awareness that they have at this time, it connected to it. Like, well, this played out and that played out, and like, you know, maybe we want to perceive it in this way and realize like I kind of played a part in this, and next time I can shift that. So, and again, always look for your part in things. Like maybe you are reading things incorrectly, or you are, you know, going a little crazy land, right? There's always partials. So, ba-doop boop boop. Don't engage with that. Let it go. Enjoy your life, regardless of what others wish to perceive or believe. And you can disconnect if it is happening on a regular thing. Like if it just seems like this is something. Like sometimes it feels like people are just like committed to like misunderstanding you. I've had experiences in my life with like that, where it's like, you know, like a covert narcissist. They will literally like tear you down every chance they get, but not in front of others. And they do it in a way that's kind of questionable. And you're like, does this person like me or not? If you're questioning that, you should just get rid of that type of person, because that's not something to question. So, time to disconnect from all that you've known, believed, and allowed for too long. It's time to cut off from the hive mind and to let go of the societal pressures. Do not allow yourself to be pressured or pushed in any ways that you do not like or actively wish to go. Unplug from the matrix, the web, and the systems from the net, and prepare to go underground in any sense that you desire to do. Take time to relax, to ground and be present, and untethered to technology. Connect to nature, breathe and see your truth. Go into nature, to the essence, into your soul led impulses, and allow it to flow with the love and integrity of yourself. This is the way to discover all that you have desired. There are happy endings and partnerships based off of who you truly are, but you first have to go and become that for that to flow into your reality. So the earth is a plane of duality. There's good and evil. There's sane and insane. There's loved and hated, intelligent and ignorant. There are men and women, and conscious and unconscious. So while you are here, you will navigate through tests and lessons. You will overcome a personal goal and setbacks, and you will get to now work in favor of abundance and prosperity, wealth and wisdom, respect and calmness, and peaceful, relaxed fullness of love for yourself, which could in turn turn to jealousy or feeling like someone's missing out among others who have experienced difficulties, traumas, or just don't have the empathies and compassions for others. So no matter what is going on, whether you're on one end or the other, if you find yourself triggered or you find yourself blessed, just allow yourself to know that there is the opposite of this, and that you don't have to stay in those places, and you can look under this like surface as to why those are happening, and try to, you know, foster more of whatever it is that is necessary to bring you into alignment of balance. So there's union in like comforting presences are on the way. That is something that was coming through a lot over the last week. I kept seeing. So for Paloma, I had already pulled cards for you, and she was, again, somebody that she was dealing with a person. Paloma had a twin, and then they've been separated for a while. She met somebody, and they were at a distance from each other, and it's kind of chaotic and crazy, like things that played out after time went by. But it was because of triggers. It was because of stuff like that. So for that situation, I'm sure you probably want to know, like, what's going on with that, because, or just like a check-in with it, because they were talking like regularly every day. Things seemed to be going well. You know, it kind of felt like it was like, I was like, that's a red flag. It's going too well too soon. We never want to rush into that type of thing. Like, oh, I just met this person 2 weeks ago or a month ago or whatever it is. Like, if it's not been 6 months to a year, like, we shouldn't be talking about marriage and moving in and big things like that, because we don't know that person yet, and that can set us up for failure. It's okay to like somebody, it's okay to be excited about somebody, but we don't know them enough to commit to them or feel like heartbroken and oh my god if something is to go wrong. And you shouldn't close down all your other options around, because this person hasn't proven themselves to you. So this person says that they feel like they're losing their mind. We have the awakening here. So I know that they had been going through things in their own personal life that I feel like that's why you were drawn to each other. You both shared similar wounding. And when you go through a wounding and you go through a breakup, or you go through things like the both of you have, it does awaken new things in you. It does shift like new perspectives, but it also can make you feel like you're losing your mind at times, because it's different from, you know, like that person was in a relationship for a pretty long time. When you come out of that, it's like becoming a whole new version of yourself, you know? And I think this person struggles with self-value and self-worth. They feel like they're not good, that like they're not worthy because whoever they were with made them feel unworthy, made them feel like, it's there's something, must be something wrong with me if this person can go do what they did to me and then do it again. And I think that's a deep wounding for that person. They feel like they're not good enough, but they were very tempted by you within their root chakra, that energy of grounded stability, like wanting to get together with somebody, feeling very tempted by you. But because of how things played out, I feel like you did trigger their fears, their insecurities, their doubts. They want comfort. They want to feel like at home and peace. They just want to choose comfort, and it was uncomfortable for them because they weren't sure what was going on and they were freaking out. But they are awakening too, so it's like you can't hold it against them because you were in that same energy the day before. You were feeling like, oh, you were getting a little triggered. Oh my goodness. And you both have beliefs that need to be stripped down, feminine and masculine, about feminine and masculine, and about vice versa. Like, doesn't matter. Like, he needs to learn differently about men, you need to learn differently about women, and flip that. You both need to learn about each other and like what is the correct way to believe about ourselves and about others and how we are treated and what it means when we're treated poorly, what it means when someone cheats on us or lies to us or does something bad to us. We got to go through the shadow work. Like I said to you that day, I was like, this is the not fun stuff, because it requires us acknowledging like, okay, I might have jumped to conclusions, or I might have played a part in how this played out, but like it's difficult to see in the moment. That's why I was like, what aren't you telling me about like what was said, because I could feel it. Like, there's no way. There's no way we got to hear it from here. Like, something's, and like, you're coming from your side, your perspective, your beliefs, your energy, how you felt, which is totally normal. But he's doing it on his end. That's why for me in the middle, I'm not committed to either side. I knew there had to be some like thing that was, like would help you to understand why he felt the way he felt and why he might be doing what he's doing. So you're both awakening. You're both going to be clearly seeing things because this is sparking something within you that needed to be sparked. This is helping you so that this doesn't continue to happen, regardless of you continue to, like, maybe he comes back around and you talk to each other again, or if you find another person, which we now know you can. We now know that twin was just a thing. It was just somebody that you felt like you were never, and like, so this guy came in and shifted your beliefs about that, let you see that like you can be interested in someone else, that you could entertain another person. So you're sparking something deep inside of him, and he's ignited something deep inside of you. But you can take it and run with it in either way of like, well, you can revert back and, oh no, I can only think of him, or do the thing that you just did with him, this guy, and be like, oh, don't do that to yourself. Don't commit or hold on to anybody. Hold on to yourself. Know that you are who you need to be working with at this time, and nothing that has happened is your fault or his fault or anybody's fault. It's not even the twins' fault. It's just a manifestation of what has happened through your experiences in life. You grew up in a certain way, you had certain dynamics, you had certain ways that your family, behaved and taught, and it might even be like conditioned through society, like the norms of your society. Like if people didn't always speak up about their feelings, if people bite their tongue more than they speak, if people have a tendency to get anxious about certain stuff, and other ones get a tendency to run away from it. Just depends, but I feel like the two of you kind of had an anxiety energy, and that's what it all comes down to anyways, whether you're fearful, avoidant, fearful, like if you're anxiously attached, preoccupied, or you're fearful, avoidant, or you're just dismissive, avoidant. All what it comes down to is that there's some sort of insecurity there. Like some sort of insecurity surrounding love, some sort of insecurity about the way that this relationship could go. And it's like, we don't even know, but it could go there. And so that anxiety, that stress, and that unknown aspect brings about things within both sides, or any of those sides, that can flippity flop in either direction, and going through one relationship can leave you coming out in an anxious way, and going through another one could flip you around, and now you're leading in the whole other direction. It just depends on what you go through and what you deal with, and also what you've grown up with. But I feel like you both are purifying, you're both learning, you're both healing, and understanding what it is that needs to be seen about that shadow parts of ourselves that we don't always want or necessarily are ready to recognize, or it's not always easy to see because we're just living from our point of view and how we felt in that moment. And well, he did this and he did that and she did this and she did that, and because she didn't say this and because he didn't tell me that, and this is where we're at. And I don't think either one of you wanted it to go there. I really don't. I think it was just, again, both of you coming from that fear. Okay? So it's like soul searching is needed. Okay? Because like I feel like you both are searching for something similar to each other. Like you want love, and again, like what I was saying earlier, like you can't expect that every situation where you search for love is going to end the same way, where it's like, well, it just doesn't work out for me, I guess I'm not destined for love. Or like thinking like, because I want love, like it's like I can't have it. No, you can have it. You just have to love yourself enough. You need to nurture yourself. You need to heal yourself, and realize that like being on your own is the opportunity to heal the things that have happened in the past, the times that you were betrayed, the times that you were lied to, the things that didn't work out so well. Let go of all of those things and don't let them mean anything about you. They don't mean anything about you. They mean more about the people who did those things than you. And like in the instance with this dude, just know that you were both coming from the same wounding, and you were both coming from, a new grounding too. It's like you never really got to that place. A lot of people don't make it past the power struggle or their first like little argument, because people have egos and people have fears and people have doubts and people are wounded. I feel like he was hostile at that point. That's why he was saying stupid shit like, pal. Like, that's just like a clear indicator. Like, if somebody says pal, it's like, all right, pal. But I think he was saying that because you shifted your energy so much, right? Like, you didn't hear from him for a few hours. You were like, what the fuck? And when he came around, you had already decided that you didn't believe what he had said to you, which is unfair because we don't know. We can't just decide that because XYZ happened in the past that every guy must do the same thing. We to paint that on him is unfair. You didn't even give him an opportunity to show you or prove you otherwise. And so when he starts trying to talk to you and he's like, hey, I'm sorry about yesterday, and you're like, hey, like, first of all, let me not answer at all, and then let me be very short with you and just be like, I'm at work. Like 2 words. That's very much, I'm sure, very different than how you've been talking over the past month. So he's like, what up, pal? Like, why are you treating me so, like, differently? Why are you like, sure, I'm at work, And I see it because I see it very clear, but you might not realize that aspect of it, Like, you're in the mode of like, my ego, my pain, fight. Why? And you're already hurt because you've already told yourself a story about whatever happened in your mind. And we really I don't think that was the case. I think he probably really did talk to someone that was a friend, and then he could feel that you were like not trusting him about that, and then so now his wheels start turning, and then you're not really engaging with him, so he's spending all this time by himself thinking and like, what the fuck. So he got all hostile, and he just, I feel like, came up with something that would hurt you back the way that you were hurting him, even though you'd already been hurt by him. It was like, it was tit-and-tatting back and forth. So just know that there's a lot of pressure at this time for many people. It's like you're under pressure, he's under pressure, and when people go through this pressure, we get sunk into the depths of our sadness. And when we're in our sadness, sometimes our sadness can manifest as anger, or our anger can manifest as sadness. Like, I think these are two in the same a lot of times. People like who are depressed, there's usually anger that's repressed, or people who are really angry, there's usually some sort of deep sadness that they're not expressing. So I feel like you were sad more than anything, that to think that, oh my God, he might have gone off with someone else. And how did you react? Through anger. You were angry. You showed that, not necessarily with very clear communication, or in a way that would like very much let him know clearly what the problem was or what you were feeling about. You just like shut down. And that doesn't get us anywhere, And who's to say that if you did open up and tell him what you were feeling, how he would have responded? He may have responded just the same, or he may have, we don't know, because some people can't handle conflict. But I feel like there was just like a thing where it was like misunderstanding, hurt. People were coming across and hurting each other, and it caused more frustration and anger. But now there is this despair here. And like this drowning energy. So drowning under this pressure, drowning under the sadness, drowning under the despair and anger. And it's like you were radiant in this person's life. Again, I feel like you did help them to awaken something that they hadn't had for a long time. And now, they're starting to realize, like, I finally see what I've done. Okay, so I think you had this awareness too. Like after we talked, you were like, "Ah, yeah, it may not have been the best time experience to be. Oh goodness," but like it's good for you to finally see things like that, so that the next time around, we know. Like, okay, I need to speak up. I can't just like not say anything about what's going on in my mind. And if I had just been honest and said, I feel this way about this, this might have played out a little bit differently. And just because I didn't and it hasn't doesn't mean that it's like lost forever, or that I will never have another opportunity to do it in the way that is more beneficial. And the way that he responded to is kind of immature, It was like he must have picked up on the fact that you were frustrated with him based off of what happened, right? But instead of like being understanding or whatever, he kind of just like met you back at that same energy, which I think you were already kind of leading the way. We are like, well, I just waited for the same amount of time that he had waited to reach, to message me back. And we can't do that shit. We like, if you get a message and you see that message and you intentionally like, you know what, fuck you, I waited 6 hours, you're gonna wait 7. Like, that energy is not a good stable place to build upon for relationships. It's just going to cause more problems between people that don't need to be there, and they're going to feel it, they're going to know it. Like, if every other fucking day of the week you were available on these times, and anytime I messaged you it was never more than like X amount of time before you responded to me, and all of a sudden now it's like you're taking 7 hours and all you say is hi, like there's going to be something in there. Okay, like, and then it's going to trigger them to want to respond back, and nobody wants to be the loser. So I'm lonely, but I want to be left alone. So I feel like he is isolating at this time, and I think he like shut down because he didn't know how to handle it, like I really don't think he's somebody that wants to have conflict. I don't think he was like expecting, like I don't think he knows how to handle it. And that's most likely why he would have been in that relationship he was in, where somebody was like, hey, I'm going to do this and then I'm going to do that. And you're just going to kind of sit there and deal with it, right? So he's also ashamed of what he said. So I feel like he has probably, maybe he talked to that person that he said his friend there that was going through shit. I'm sure he's probably opened up to that person about what played out. Like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I came and talked to you and now, and he might be even ashamed of like, I think he's ashamed of what he said to you too. Like with the gossip, I don't think there was real truth in what, because usually gossip is just gossip. It's like people don't really know. A lot of times when people are gossiping, it's like they're just kind of like thinking, or like, I feel like, or she might be, or he could have, boop, boop, boop. It's based out of fucking other people's like projections, or insecurities, or their anger, oh, you're such a fucking bitch, but deep down I know they're not a bitch, but I'm mad at them, so I'm gonna say they're a fucking bitch. Or that, or like we might blow something up bigger than, or she just boop, 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 boop. And like when we're dealing with these things, right, like if we know what played out really wasn't that extreme, but my reaction to it was in a way that makes me seem like, right, like, oh, I reacted in this way, and if I just say this, people are gonna know I overreacted. I don't want them. He might have said something a little bit more. Oh, just like throw a little something extra in there. Like, oh, she told me to go fuck myself. So blah blah blah. Just because he doesn't want to be looked at as the one that was like the problem, or you know what I mean. I'm just getting the sense that like he said stuff to you that he regrets, and I feel like he might have said something to that other person too, just in a way of like, venting about it. And nobody understands the darkness inside of me, inner demons. So I feel like there are these inner demons within him that you probably do understand. I feel like you both have them within you, and it's like the demon of fucking like or the spirit of like that insecurity, of betrayal, feeling like I don't want to go through what I went through before. I don't want to be played again. I don't want to be used again. I don't want you to make me look foolish again. I don't want to be led on. I don't want to be, tricked or deceived. And I think you both have that energy within you. So you're both, you both have that, and you're like, it's very easy to fuck with each other in a way that you don't mean to, and trigger that. So it feels like I'm slowly losing you, fading. I feel like, he does feel badly about this. He doesn't like this emptiness or this sense of like letting this just fade away, but he is also, I feel like, insecure about it because he knows he made a mistake. He does say, I know I'm running out of time and patience. So I feel like he has had this sense of like, reaching back out to you and apologizing, or just saying like, I pray, I pray you'll forgive me. Like, please Forgive me. I'm sorry. I overreacted. I did, and like now he probably feels foolish too about some of the shit that he said. Like why did I say that? Yeah, look, confusion. What am I running from? Why would I have said that? Like, please forgive me. Please trust me that I was just being stupid. You know. And then yeah, I'm pretending to be someone I'm not, wearing a mask. So again, I feel like he was just like, oh, no big deal. If you don't want to talk to me, you want to be a pal, I'm going to say that, like, yeah, like, oh no, I found this thing happening and bye. You know, I should have let you know. But that's not who he is. That's just his wound. That's his ego. And I regretted the second I saw pain in your eyes, regrets. So the second that you started vocalizing how you were feeling and what the hell, and letting him know that you weren't just like totally disengaging from him and never going to talk to him again, and that you didn't just completely turn a cold shoulder on him, you were just like, you know, being a little distant at that moment. I feel like for him, he felt like you had already like written him off at that time. So when he said what he said, he didn't expect you to probably come back and say all of that you said. So that's why he shut down and was like, oh no, I've made a mistake. But just know that he didn't want that cold shoulder from you, misses your warmth, fantasizing about you at night, and he does know that you could very much please him. And he may even be kind of like obsessing over this at this time, like just really thinking about it a lot. Yeah, look, contemplating. I have so much going on, I don't know what to do. I think he's just contemplating on like, how do I fix this, or should I fix this, or is there a way to fix this? So just know that, again, there was lessons here for you to learn, and I don't think any of it was intentional. You both wanted comfort. You both wanted to feel safe, secure, and you were both still learning each other, exploring each other, and fighting and arguing and triggering each other is a part of that. So if it's something that has any value or worth or could go anywhere, we need to be able to go through those and then come back. Yeah. So we need to let each other go. I feel like just for now, you need to let each other go and to see what happens. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he's afraid to contact you. So just let him go, because if you hold on to it, it will resist. Like you will keep it from being able to ever get to where it needs to go. He's like, I know I crossed the line with you. I'm afraid to contact you. So I feel like just letting it go for right now might be the best, you know, and letting go like what happened. Just let it go, and don't. Just know that it probably wasn't correct. It might not have been the right timing. I hid who I really am from you, and I feel like that's in the ending there, where it's like saying one thing probably wasn't the truth. Doopity-bop. I couldn't let you get close to me, because if I let you get too close to me, you could break me. You could hurt me, you know. And it's time for me to heal now. And I feel like it's both of you are healing at this time. So I know I messed up everything, and I know I was a distraction from your pain, and I feel like, you know, he might feel that way too. You might even feel that way, because you both came from a similar situation, right? So, and it may have been true. He might have been a distraction from what was going on before, but it was like, it was a good thing to have that ability to see, wow, like, I don't have to hold on to what I was holding on to for so long. Like, there are things available to me out there. Not every single one is always going to work out. And sometimes we need that reminder that that there's other things available to us, and that we can explore them before, you know, like it's possible. It's a possible thing. I left you before you could leave me out. This is the type of energy I was getting, right? Like I said, he felt like you shut down, you weren't going to talk to him anymore, so he just took off before that could actually play out to the fullest. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So just know, I think that's what it was. And yeah, I knew exactly what I was doing. I said some bullshit that I probably was not true, and now I feel you leaving me behind, or I felt you leaving me behind, and I didn't like that. So I was like, fuck you, I'm gonna leave you before you can leave me, because you were, you know, you're disconnecting, you were disengaging, you weren't being who you were before. So Divine Feminine, you are being pushed to a new beginning, a new cycle, one which you are determined how it will be expanding and experienced ultimately. Believe in the experience that you desire is available, the happy, the loving, the healthy, the strength that is necessary to cleanse all that you have taken in or taken on within your past connections. Allow the ocean and the seas and the element of water to wash over you and through you. Wash away the sad, the insecure, and wash away the pain and the fear. Cleanse the uncertainty, clear up the limiting vibrations, the lack of self-confidence, and prepare for a journey of truth, authenticity, vulnerability, love, passion, and a real, healthy, safe, secure vibration. Believe that the journey is unfolding exactly as it's supposed to be. The universe is shifting and the veil is thinning, and you will be seeing a lot more through your intuition. So reparent and nurture yourself and know that you are enough, that you are enough, that you see enough, that you've done enough, that you gave enough, that you know enough, and that you are abundant and prosperous. You are innately magnetic and attractive, and you deserve more, better, best. Love is enough, and you are enough to love as you are, as is, no matter what. But we are healing and learning and growing, and it will help you to recognize and to see and to embody what everyone else could already believe. So open up and allow for their passion, purpose, for your mind and your miracles as a creator, as your own prophet, to level up, because you are the master, you are the teacher, and you get to battle swiftly, and you have the answers that others do not. You even know that you are needed. All right, so those are for Paloma, and again, Paloma is in the Patreon, so she gets more than one. I think that she missed it. I don't know. I know there was two. There was a question. Paloma and Rick had two questions because I had missed two from them for some reason. All right.